Oh, look at here. How we doing, folks? How we doing? How we doing? Oh, man, let me dust this thing off. Oh, let me tell you. Welcome, 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 everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hey, this is a special edition of Riding with KSolo, the podcast with Logic. Hey, as we know, we are celebrating Black History Month. We're celebrating the legacy of the African-American rider to the motorcycle culture. And there's nobody else, no other than the one and only. We've had him on before, and I'm telling you, folks, he set it off. He set it ablaze. So we definitely had to bring him back. Come on in, everybody. Hey, go ahead and comment. Let me know you're in. Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. Sometimes we start off with little technical difficulties, but when you give me the thumbs up, that lets me know that we are rolling. Yes, indeedy. Yes, indeedy. If you can see me, give me the thumbs up. If you can hear me, give me the thumbs up. I see Facebook is rolling. That's good. Is the YouTube rolling? Somebody on YouTube, give me a thumbs up. Good deal, good deal. Thank you, thank you. There we go, there we go. Zena Strong, how you doing tonight? Definitely, definitely. Thank you, my sister. Thank you. Bolo, how we doing? Yes, indeedy. Yes, indeedy, man. I know y'all was over there watching the Iron Elite podcast with Big Sarge. And hey, man, we touching base. We tag teaming y'all tonight. We are going to tag team y'all tonight. Hey, how we doing, Nita Shaw? Hey, much love to you, my sister. Much love. Thank you for supporting the podcast as well. Come on in. Come on in. Yes, I'm calling out everybody. Mark, how you doing tonight? Good, good, good. I hope everybody can hear me. Thank you for joining me. Folks, I'm going to go ahead and bring them on because, listen, this is going to be an episode to remember. I know Sarge just put it down over there on Iron Elite, but hey, we're going to dive into the history tonight. I even pulled out my hat. I actually wore this hat when Sharif and I did the top to bottom ride, man. We was looking like the old Indian and the old Harley and the Indian show, man. We took a trip back in time. All right. Hoka Hey application. Woo, woo. There you go, Mark. Good stuff, man. Good stuff. All you guys getting ready to participate in the Hoka Hey, go ahead and start getting ready. I'm telling you right now, it's going to be the ride of a lifetime. You will never forget it. How we doing, Bells? I seen you just jump over off of Big Sarge. Thank you for tuning in tonight with me. I'm solo tonight. Logic, because you know Sunday is Logic's night. And so, yeah, I'm solo tonight, flying solo. Excuse me. So look, without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and bring Mr. Rufus Smith in. How you doing, sir?
Good, good. How you doing, KSolo?
Good to see you, man, I am good. Hey, look. You see, I had to get it, man.
I see you.
Hey, man, I got you guys on, man. You guys are definitely on the money. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
An old school hat on. I see it.
That's right. That's right. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And without further ado, man, go ahead and introduce yourself again to the folks, please.
Good evening. My name is Rufus Smith Jr., Columbus, Ohio. Live in a suburb right outside of Columbus called Westerville. Have had a long, rich history in Harley-Davidson motorcycles since I was born. My father taught me to ride the large Harley-Davidsons in 1976 down in the alley in Mansfield, Ohio, where I was born and raised. And he learned to ride in World War II as an MP assigned to the Negro barracks of the Army base, both
All right.
here and abroad. So that's where
right.
he learned to ride. And after that, he kept riding once he was out of the war, and bought a new Harley-Davidson every few years. And then I was born in '64, and I've been on Harley-Davidsons all my life. So, and I'm now 60 years old. So a long, long time on Harley-Davidson.
Yes, sir. So you what I would call a SME, a subject matter expert. Without a doubt, without a doubt. Bolo, holler at him. Let him know you're there, Bolo.
Good evening, Bolo. Good evening, brother.
That's what I'm talking about. Dove Wilson, my brother out of Los Angeles, California. Thank you for joining us tonight. Ayo, out of New York. All right, we're going to jump down here to Milwaukee. I'm going to bring him in, no other than another one of our featured guests going to be coming in tonight, Mr. Henry Johnson. How you doing, sir?
Hey, good evening, KSolo. Brother Rufus, how you doing tonight?
Good, Brother Henry. Good, always good to see you, brother.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Hey, sir, go ahead and introduce the folks to you.
All right, Henry Johnson, St. Petersburg, Florida. Been riding since 1983, Christmas of 1983. I got my first Honda 70, taught by my dad, which he started with a 1960 Zondap. Take y'all way back. A 60
Zondap. A Zondap. You gonna have, hey, look, when we get into this, you had to break that one down to us because that's the first time I heard of a Zondap.
Yes, sir. A 1960 Zondap was his first bike, you know. Yeah, and it's come up through the ranks. I'm 49 years old. Been riding a motorcycle since for 42 years now.
Man.
Yeah. So been one heck of a life, I tell you.
Hey man, that shirt you got on, man. Who is that? Who is that guy, man? Who is that guy?
Listen, no other. And I'm gonna pop my collar before you bring him on.
You said bring him on. Do we have him tonight? Do we have him tonight?
We bring him on.
Man, listen, without further ado, man, an icon to this culture. You may not have heard of him, but hey, I was on the podcast with Salty Badger, man, and Salty Badger said he ran to him in Milwaukee, and he is an outstanding stand-up gentleman. So without further ado, I'm gonna bring Mr. Freddie, aka Blackley, in. How you doing, sir?
All right.
Go ahead and introduce yourself, sir.
All right, my name's Freddie Franklin, also known as Blackula. I'm from a small town in Waterloo, Iowa, and I'm new to this game. Looking up to people like Rufus and Bruh Henry. I'm learning as we go, so trying to be a part of history and learning as we go.
Without a doubt, sir, without a doubt, you are definitely an icon to the culture. Hey, man, whenever I'm on somebody else's podcast and they mention you, I'm like, man, I have to meet this gentleman. I have to. I can't wait to get on the road and come around. I want to meet each and every one and shake your hands, man, because you guys are definitely an icon, living legends within this culture of ours, man. So, gentlemen,
thank you, brother.
Now that we got everybody on, we're going to jump into this thing, sir. We're going to jump right into this thing. The reason why I wanted to do this podcast because I said, hey, man, it's Black History Month. We all celebrate our culture. We have a rich culture in this motorcycle culture. And I said, hey, man, I want to do an episode. Matter of fact, I'm going to do a couple of episodes this month where I'm going to highlight the Black African-American rider, and not to take it from anybody, but we just have a rich culture. I can look at you gentlemen and see myself, what I aspire to be. So, you know, as a kid, you know, you always look up to people that you want to aspire to be. So I definitely have to use this platform to just say, hey, look, these are people that influence me. These are people that should be influencing you out there to get out and ride and live this lifestyle, man. Without a doubt, without a doubt. So, Mr. Rufus, if you would, sir, if you could see that right there, you remember when you posted that?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I do.
Can you recite that for us, sir?
Sure.
I want it in your words.
Yep. I don't need a particular month to acknowledge my history, especially as it pertains to motorcycles. Every month I ride, just as I was taught and others before me, I acknowledge it 365 days per year.
Folks, you heard it right there. He acknowledged it 365 days a year. And that's the attitude that I've tried to take with this thing, man. People say, how you ride so much solo? Because it's 365.
Yeah.
Like Highway Smiley say. It's not anytime, it's all the time, man. It's every day. You live the lifestyle, you live the culture. You do.
Yeah, you know, Brother KSolo, you know, you always hear people talk about, I'm gonna put my bike up in the winter, I'm gonna put my bike up, you know, November through April. I'm gonna put it up, and I'm gonna ride. But my father was always like, we insure these bikes every day, every month. We pay insurance. We're gonna ride them every day, every month. As long as you don't have any ice. For me in Ohio, as long as I don't have any ice on the street, I don't care how cold it is. I'm out there running that bike if I have some time. This is the way I was raised. So I had to stop and slow down a little bit as it's gotten colder. But I'm still riding every day, January 1st through December 31st.
Right. Hey, Tim, man. Hey, Mr. Branson, thank y'all for joining us tonight. Miss Staff, I call you Staff, but you know what I'm talking about. But gentlemen, we have a group on, a panel on tonight that's rich in this culture. Mr. Johnson, now you are up in Milwaukee, am I correct?
No. I'm down in St. Petersburg, Florida.
Okay, you in St. Petersburg. I got it backwards.
Yeah,
I got it backwards. My notes down here got all over the place, but I got it back. But Mr. Henry, you down in Florida, so you year round, man.
I'm in Florida. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'm year round. So
what is your approach to it? Yes, sir.
Well, I love a motorcycle, man. Let's get that out in the open. I get to ride down here 365 days a year. I do a lot of working, but in my off time, trust me, we do some riding. And we'll jump on this motorcycle and we'll hit LA, go visit my brother Rufus, go visit my brother Fred.
Right.
Man, hey, we get it in, man. Florida, it's a pretty deep rooted motorcycle culture here.
It is.
Yes, sir.
Because it's always been year round.
It always been year round.
Yeah, it's always been year round.
Yes. And man, we got like the likes of Miss Bessie Stranfield.
Yes.
So down from Miami, but a lot of down here, this way we call it Pirine. Pirine if you're from that end of town. Right?
Hey, I need you to chime in.
Yeah, Pirine. You know what I mean? And so with the likes of her, and then just some of the older clubs here, like the Jacksonville Trotters. First off, club been in existence close to 70 years, man.
70 years.
70 years. Still going strong.
Folks, y'all heard that 70 years in the game.
Yes.
And that's what I've been telling people, man. Clubs have been in existence for a long time. You may not have heard of them, but they've been in a long time. So when you say the oldest club, man, you need to go on some of these back roads, some of these little small towns, some of these family clubs. And I'm telling you, you're gonna hear some years, back when before it was riding Harley, Suzuki, Kawasaki's, Yamaha. They didn't care what you was riding.
That's right.
That's right.
Yes, sir.
That's
yes,
right.
sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Without a doubt. Man, I don't even know how to approach this next guy, man. He's intimidating, man. Hold on. Man. First off, man, can you please tell the people how you got that name?
Well, I'm a 60s baby, and I grew up in the Black exploitation era. And Blackula was one of the best movies that I ever saw. So when I got into the game, there was no better way to represent the culture than Blackula.
Right. So did you assume that name, or were you given that name?
I assumed the name. It was the character that I wanted to portray to show our love for our culture.
There you go. Yes, sir.
Blackula was our Romeo and Juliet. He committed suicide for the sake of his love. So what greater love can you give to the culture than that?
Oh my goodness, man. I don't even know what to do tonight.
That's deep, bro.
That's deep. That's deep right there, folks.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Man, I'm sorry. So I didn't mean to cut you off, man. But go ahead. Kind of just give a little bit about. Now, you up in Milwaukee, right?
Yes, sir. I'm up in Milwaukee.
I know that weather up there is treacherous. It's brutal.
Yes, sir. But this is the birthplace of Harley-Davidson. So, in terms of the culture, we ride, like Rufus said, we ride 24/7, 365. If there's some salt on the ground, we try and push it out the way. And so, when I see Rufus riding, you go online, you see Rufus riding every day. You see Bud Henry riding anytime he can. So in terms of how I can represent the culture up here in the Midwest, I try to do the same thing. You think about the shirt that Bud Henry wearing, that's me actually in January in a meat coat. riding
I
on my
know.
shovel head.
I know. Look at that. Look at that, man. Hey, look, you need to bring that back, sir. I need to get one of those.
Yeah.
Sir.
Yeah.
Mink coat in January. That tells you how Freddie gets down.
I know that's right. I know that's right.
That's like that
So-
picture up there that you have of Joe Frazier with the mink coat on a Harley Davidson that you used to have.
Yes, man. And that's what we were talking about earlier in the green room. How athletes were at the time riding, buying Harley Davidson on the cover of Life magazine, Time magazine. We were captured in time, man. I don't know how we got away from it, but it's like, man, where did we stop tracking our history? Where did we stop saying, hey, look, this is our get down?
I don't think we ever really stopped tracking it. It's just that there were very few of us that were out there communicating our story. And now with social media, we're able to share our story to the rest of the world, where before it was family stories and historical perspectives. You know, so
Right.
now we are the history, and we're able to tell that story in a way that connects with the community.
Right,
Exactly.
right. Yes. Go ahead, Mr. Rufus. I hear you. I think you got something you want to add to that.
No, I was just going to say exactly. I mean, you look at Fred, and Fred is a relatively newer old school rider, right? And he has that rich history of being in Milwaukee and being able to articulate well kind of his experiences in Milwaukee. Then you had Brother Henry, who was like myself. You know, we grew up with this from the time we were babies, and here we are still doing it. You know, I'm a little older than Brother Henry, but Brother Henry is still getting down. And what's unique about Brother Henry, and I tell anyone this, is that not only does he have a garage with old school Harley Davidsons that are all decked out, but he's got a garage with old school Honda Gold Wings that are all decked out, which is what our people did back in the day.
Right.
You know, the 60s, we all ran Harleys. All of us ran Harleys. And then when Honda came in the game and figured out they're going to bring a heavyweight touring bike into the mix that was quicker than a Harley, they brought the Gold Wing. And so a lot of brothers, a lot of my father's friends, I'm sure Brother Henry's friends, Brother Henry's father, they went to that Gold Wing, but they still dressed that Gold Wing like that Harley. So now you have Gold Wings lit up with lights and everything on them. You've got Harley Davidson lit up with lights with everything on them. And Brother Henry has both in his garage. He has both Harley Davidson with lights and Gold Wing with lights, and he rides them. They run, as you can see.
Hey, introduce us to those ladies back there, man. Go on, introduce us to them.
Let me move my picture board here, y'all. Okay, so this right here, this is Mr. Big Stuff, 1969, FLE.
Light up like a Christmas tree.
Oh, I'm telling you, this is 100%.
So you gotta have your tap dance shoes on, because he'll sit there and do that all night. This my old man, 1987. Go with it.
Bluetooth FM connected.
You probably can't see the lights from the light in the garage, but it's 164 lights on there.
164 lights.
164 lights on a Honda Gold Wing. So this is you know what I came up around, right?
Right.
When a guy pulled up to the party, I guess it's just like not today. The 32-inch wheels. I call it the gator tail. I don't know the right name. You call it the back end with the saddlebag swoop to the ground.
Right.
That it took this to get to that. Right?
Say it again, brother.
Yes, sir. It took this right here to make it to where the gentlemen are today. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
The wheels weren't so big, but this is how a fella expressed itself. You know what I mean? The more lights, the more cabinet balls he had. Right.
Cabinet balls. Man, what you know about cabinet balls?
Bro, listen, and I don't know, could y'all see it, but both of them got color TVs on them, right? They would have a kitchen sink on them if I could get the sink chrome. You know what I mean? But this is this is the culture, man, right here. You know, and started what, bro, Rufus, late 50s.
Late 50s.
Yeah,
that's when it really took off. I mean, we've been riding forever, but late 50s is when we really did our own thing with the lights, the cabinet walls, the exhausts. I mean, and then we always named our bikes. I mean, Brother Henry has names for his bikes.
Oh, yeah.
Brother Freddie has names for his bikes. I have names for all four of my old bikes in my road glide. So
Right.
we name our bikes, and that's what we
Right.
do, and that's how
Right.
people know them. That's how people know them.
Right.
Yeah.
And there's nothing like that. There's nothing. Brother Fred has that shovel head, and Brother Henry, there's nothing like that sound, that unmistakable putt.
Hey,
putt
man,
we all have,
hey,
we all
listen,
do.
that right there alone is so iconic that you could record it, man. And it's like you could tune it by adjusting it.
You got it.
What is it? The timing? Is it the timing that you can adjust on it?
The timing, the timing from 1964 back, but from 1965 up, you adjust it with the carb, and then cut that.
Yeah.
Timing.
That's right.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Man,
Yeah,
folks, this is legendary. Yes, Blackett, I see you ready.
Yes, sir. And I was just going to digress for just a second when we talked about gold wings and our evolution into the Harley game. I grew up in a small community called Waterloo, Iowa. I currently live in Milwaukee. And there was a black motorcycle club there called Inner City Motorcycles, and all those cats rode gold wings. So I wasn't exposed to the Harley game until I moved to Milwaukee and got my motorcycle license at a dealership, saw people riding like Rufus, and decided to get into the game. So it was interesting to see that kind of morphosis from gold wings to Harley, and how we embrace the culture, regardless of the brand. If we're into cycling, and we've always been into cycling.
Right. Yes, we have. Yes, we have.
Right.
Yeah. Thank you very much for that, sir. Man. Well, I don't know what to do tonight, man. I where do I go with this, man? I got a all-star panel on, man. But as we know, we always start from somewhere. Mr. Rufus, this gentleman right here.
Yeah, I know that. I vaguely know that gentleman. That's Rufus Smith Sr. That's Rufus Smith Sr. That's the man who brought me into this world and brought me into this game. That's his 1956 Harley-Davidson that he had bought brand new, and I think that's like 1961 in that picture. But he traded that motorcycle on my current bike, one that I have, a 1966 FL.
That's not Lucille, is it?
That's not Lucille. No,
Okay.
Oh, that was anime. That was my father anime his mother.
Hey, listen, sir. I am definitely coming up to see. Matter of fact, I'm gonna make sure this year that I visit all three of you gentlemen. Milwaukee, Florida, Ohio. I will personally come and visit and shake you gentlemen hand because I'm loving this. I just want to just sit back and just let you gentlemen have at it. A round table of the history and legacy, educate us, school us, because you guys have a plethora of knowledge that needs to be shared and need to be heard. So please have at it, gentlemen. The floor is yours tonight.
Well, unfortunately, if I can make a shameless plug, you said you'd be coming up later in the year, but if you can get up here before the 17th of February, you'll actually be able to see Blackula, my 77 FLH, on display at the Harley-Davidson Museum. I'm going to take it out, and then I'm going to head down to Florida and hang out with Bro Henry and Bro Rufus down in Daytona. So if you can get up here by the 17th of February, I'll take you on a personal tour of the HD Museum, and we could talk about Blackula the Shovelhead.
Hey man, I am a Life Hog member, so I can get in that joint for free, so we can walk around and take our time and enjoy it, sir.
Yes, sir.
I would tell you.
So you have a bike on display in the museum.
There we go.
Yes, sir.
My God! Oh my God!
Hey, elaborate on that, bro, Fred.
Yeah, please, bro, Fred. Tell me about that.
I'm gonna tell you, man. To run into this guy right here is like, man, let me tell you, the experience of a lifetime, man. Yeah. The red carpet can't get no redder with Freddie Franklin.
All right, bro, Rufus, I thank you for the love. We family for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, but, quite seriously, I got into the game about 10 years ago. I got my license, my motorcycle license, and my gift to me was a 2014 FLH XS Street Glide Special. That was my first build. That's skull and crossbones. And then through social media, I happened to run into some pictures of Rufus. And man, one time I saw him on the back of his motorcycle. His patches was banging. Them pipes was something I had never seen before. And so I captured the picture on my phone, and said, if I got into the old school game, that was the swag I wanted. And then fortunately, I was able to run into Rufus through social media, and that's how I kind of developed my swag. And in terms of the love of the game, when I ran into people like Bro Henry, who talked about their family history and how they passed down the love and passion of motorcycles and had these machines to be able to tell the story, I said to myself, I wanted to leave that legacy for my family. So that's why I'm so passionate about the game.
Oh my goodness, man. I'm speechless. I'm absolutely speechless. That's what I tell everybody, man. Somebody, you inspiring somebody every day, even if you don't know you are inspiring others. And that's my motto. That's my mantle. Aspire to inspire, be legendary. Because when you're doing it right and people see you doing it right, you're genuine and you're authentic, you will inspire others to do it the right way.
Right.
You cannot deny it. You cannot deny it.
And as a consequence of my build, collaborating with people like Rufus and Brock Henry and Randy Detroit Hayward, Spade George, Sugar Bear, I created Blackula. And now our story is forever in the HD Museum. And so, it's not my story, it's our story.
Right. Exactly. I love that. I absolutely love that. I'm so happy to hear that. We are being represented. I have been to the museum. I've had walked around, but I didn't have that connection with the bikes that I was seeing because I didn't know the people, the faces and everything behind it. So now when I go back up there, I'm going to take a different approach. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to be more hungrier and eager to find out the history behind the bike. Who was the individual? What contribution to the culture did this individual provide or give to the culture, though? So I definitely will be making
and right now, Harley-Davidson has a great exhibit, Easy Rider exhibit about Black riders and the culture from the 50s through the 70s. So they're continuing to tell our story, and we appreciate that as well.
Yes, definitely. Oh man. So gentlemen, there was a time where we would just kick back on these bikes, live this lifestyle that's being displayed right here. Family, we was involved with family. Gentlemen wearing the hats like we was wearing. We was talking about the balls on the bike and how we would express ourselves. Let's elaborate a little bit more on that throughout the culture of the 50s, the 60s, and 70s, because I want to take it back. I want that history.
I mean, you can see how the hats have changed, right? Like I'm wearing a hat from the 60s.
Yes,
that
sir.
was my father's hat. It's probably actually from the 50s, and it's an authentic Harley-Davidson hat. But these hats back then were, $2 or $3. Now this same hat on my head is worth $700. So, you see how these hats have changed, and you look at like your hat, my hat, Fred's hat. They're going from these, kind of hats to the ball caps that Brother Henry's wearing. To that hat that Brother Fred is wearing, and so they've kind of gone, they've moved forward, but they're still the same, right? Because Harley-Davidson has that style that you have on your head, KSolo, that they're selling now because they know how popular these hats were.
Yes.
And so you take these hats, you take the kidney belts that people wore back in the day that I still wear from time to time when I feel like putting one on. All that stuff has become very relevant now and very costly to try to acquire and to try to get. So it goes back to the bikes, right? You look at Brother Henry's bikes, Brother Fred's bikes. Brother Fred has a 48 panhead right now that he's bringing back. That's his bike. So, those bikes are very hard to find and very expensive when you do find them. But Brother Fred has acquired one. And so he's taking it back even further than my bikes from the 60s to go to a 48, which is a very unique year for Harley-Davidson. So you just look at all that stuff and how it correlates today. And it's amazing, man. It's amazing. You always remember that the black females who pawned these bikes, who rode these bikes, Miss Bessie, those of that nature, they had to kickstart these bikes. So it wasn't taking anything away from the females who ride today, who hit a button and go.
Right.
Our women were kickstarting these bikes. That's a kickstart bike right there with Miss Bessie, right? And she had to kick it everywhere she went. So you turn to get the gas.
Exactly.
You do this, you kick it. So and kicking is not easy.
Right.
So if you've done it on a big V twin, it's not an easy thing to do. So you have a female traveling by herself across the country at the time when you shouldn't travel by yourself. And brother Freddie gave me a book, the sundown towns, and here she's in all these sundown towns by herself, dark-skinned African-American back in the day, and on a Harley-Davidson, she had to kickstart. So there was no quick getaway if somebody's going to mess with her.
Yeah.
Right? So that's the way it is. It's just the way it was.
Yeah, and that's interesting, you know, and to even elaborate even further, not only was she kicking and riding it, she was fixing it, you
Yes.
know. And these bikes are extremely laborious. And for her to have the skill set to be able to do that with little or no assistance is, you know, quite unimaginable.
Right.
If you've ever
Man,
worked on an old school scooter, you know how laborious and intense that is.
For sure.
Yes.
And all the places she got turned away from,
Tell him,
yes,
Henry.
in her travels. Can you imagine you a woman and you pulling in on a motorcycle, right? Any old time of night, and hey, you're not welcome here, right?
Yes.
I done got to the point now. Here go the road dog sitting over here by me to this side. When we out traveling on this, I'm bringing it down at a certain time of night in 2024, 2025. You hear me? Because
right.
I want to be in a safe spot. But can you imagine out there on a motorcycle in old time of night and you're a woman, right? And man, and you getting turned away. That had to be tough, gentlemen. That had to be tough. I'm gonna say big up to all lady riders, all lady
Right,
riders.
right,
Yeah,
right. Yeah,
all lady
yeah.
riders.
I
Yeah,
would definitely be getting some of the likes of Miss Showtime. I'm gonna try to get Miss Showtime on. I'm definitely gonna get Mama D on, because the thing
Right.
is, man, Mama D, if you hearing Mama D, I will be getting you on the show. So please stay with us. I'm gonna get you on the show. I got a couple of other people lined up that I'm in the works now, just trying to get the timing right to get them on the show. Some other female riders that's been riding, that's been POs. Come
yeah,
on, man. Since some of these outlaw clubs started. So the
yeah.
thing is, man, is I plan to highlight all riders. If you ride a Gold Wing, a Kawasaki, whatever you ride, I'm gonna try to get you on, because you have a story to tell and a legacy that needs to be shared.
Right. Right. Right.
Yeah. I saw in the comments my sister Sonny and her husband had chimed in and said hello to me when we first came on.
Uh-huh.
She is another hard lady rider, and wish she could
Yeah, the
put you
yeah,
into. Yes, sir. And
yeah.
Florida's finest. That's my sister there, man. And she could put you in tune to Miss Mandy Mackey, another hard lady rider. And
Okay,
I'm gonna tell you,
so Sony Bell, I need that contact. We need to set that up. We
yes,
need
Bro,
to
yeah,
set that up.
please
Bro,
contact me.
Rufus, you need to be calling your lady next to you as hard as she ride.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Every female friend that I have that rides.
Yeah,
There are some on this show. My good friend Karen in South Carolina, Tina in Cleveland. They ride these motorcycles, man. They ride them. They don't play, and they get down. And Karen has a couple shovel heads, and she had a flathead, and she wrenches on them herself, and goes cross country all the time, and they get down, man. And that's refreshing to see. A female rider out on her motorcycle getting down and putting those miles down, hitting that
Right.
asphalt and going, man. That's nothing. Nothing's more enjoyable to see than that, man. Nothing more.
yeah,
Nothing more.
yeah.
And taking no
Oh
prisoners.
man.
They
Oh
do
man.
what they're doing the damn thing, man. Doing the
They
damn
do
thing.
it. They do it.
Man,
Yeah,
I know. Hey,
yeah.
folks, I truly apologize to y'all tonight, but I'm gonna have to jump off of Facebook, go over to the YouTube channel, because we're gonna dig in this thing. I'm gonna try to keep these gentlemen for at least another 45 minutes. Please go over to the YouTube channel. That's where we're going. So stand by. All right, gentlemen, we are back. Hey, we want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight. We're riding with KSolo, the podcast with Logic. Tonight we have a panel on, an unbelievable panel. We had the iconic Mr. Rufus Smith Jr. on with us from a previous episode. We have Mr. Henry Johnson down there in Florida with us tonight. He's a Gold Wing Harley guy, and we have no other than Mr. Freddie, aka Blackler, out of Milwaukee. So, folks, chime in, tune in, comment, share, give us a thumbs up, tell us how we're doing, because I'm telling you, this panel right here tonight, folks, is A1. Mr. Smith, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I had to jump channel, sir. But go ahead and finish.
I understand. As I was saying, they're riding, brother. These women are getting down. They're putting in some cases, more miles than the men, and taking no prisoners. So it's exciting to see as they continue to get into the game and stay into the game, and they're not to be moved, man, and not to be taken lightly.
Yes, indeed. And without a doubt, man, I recognize all riders. I do not sit there and try to category male, female. The only thing I say is don't make it a competition, because we're all trying to ride to enjoy. For me, it's therapy. Riding is therapy for me. And I tell everybody, find your reason for riding. Stick to the reason why you ride. Either you're going to ride for a cause, you're going to ride for a purpose, or you're riding for yourself. Even if you ride in a club and riding for the brand, ride your scoop, folks. Ride your scoop.
Yeah. And brother, I would tell you, brother KSolo, if you have the opportunity, any of the people who are out here listening and joining in with us today, if you ever get the opportunity to get an old Harley-Davidson, and when I say old, I mean anything 1984 and back, get that motorcycle. If you find one sitting in someone's garage or someone's shed and they want to get rid of it for little or nothing, get that motorcycle and you will learn what it is to really be on an old motorcycle. I mean, the new ones are nice. I have a Road Glide, very modern motorcycle, and all the amenities that the Road Glides have, Limiteds have. But once you get on one of these old ones, there's nothing like it. That smell of gas and oil, that sound is unmistakable. Brother Henry, Brother Fred, I know you know what I'm talking about.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes, sir, indeed. Yes, indeed. It's nothing like it, y'all. And I'm gonna switch back to the Harley-Davidson now. To be on a Harley-Davidson motorcycle, touring the countryside, y'all. Let me tell you something. Okay, even on this Limited here, with me and my wife, we sit up on that thing. We ride to LA, we might ride to Wisconsin or wherever, right? There is nothing like sitting on that motorcycle, and I turn the radio off sometime, y'all, and just listen to them Vance and High and talk to you back there. You know, the
Old
bike
school.
singing a tune. I don't need to hear Al Green no more, Bobby Womack, none of them, right? I could turn them on, and man, that motorcycle go to sing it to you, man.
Sing it to you, man.
There is nothing like it when you cutting through that traffic. Sometimes I get tired of waving. I won't look at the people in the car, throwing the hand up, throwing the thumbs up, right? I said, man, look here. And it's just nothing like it. As my daddy would have said, you sitting out there and you pouring the cold to it, right? And riding that Harley-Davidson, y'all, you will get recognized in some spots that you never thought you'd been recognized before. On my Limited here, we went to Denver, Colorado. That year before last. Yeah, year before last. Soon we touched down in Denver, y'all. My water pump went out. So I pull in the Mile High Harley-Davidson. And I said, man, my water check light on. Man, I said, okay, so let me get you in the shop back here. He said, well, your water pump gone. I said, he told me be 3 days before one get in, before we can order one in. I said, so I don't have 3 days. He said, well, I find you one. It's in Pueblo, Colorado. He said, take my Road Glide and y'all carry that Road Glide up to Pueblo and get your water pump and bring it back. I put it on. Man, I'm going to tell you, I don't think my local Honda dealership would have did that. Lord knows I'm not getting paid by the brand, right? But that Harley-Davidson, it'll take you in some rooms you'll never be able to walk in, man. I'm going to tell you that right now.
Yeah.
Hey, Solo, I'm going to tell a quick story about me and Brother Henry, who've known each other. I was on my way to Maine. I think Brother Henry, I forgot, they were on their way coming back from Boston. And we were on different sides of the interstate.
That's right.
We had to look over we probably running 85, 90 different ways. I looked at, that looks like Brother Henry. He looked at me, waved, and I'm going to, man. He's coming from Boston.
That's right.
I called him on my phone on the road. I said, Henry, he goes, yeah, oh, Brother Rufus, that was me.
That's me.
That's the connectivity that we have as black men, as brothers on the road, knowing that we're on the road pounding the pavement. I'm going from Ohio. He's coming from the Boston area. And
yes, sir.
On the interstate. Now, how tell me that's not crazy.
Yeah.
But we out here doing it, man.
Definitely.
Out here doing it.
Right. Now, gentlemen, you've been in this culture for a while. You've been in it for a while. And we're looking at 4 different locations. We're gonna say the Midwest, the South, and kind of both of y'all in the Midwest, Northeast, you know what I'm saying, Midwest. But how have you seen things change as far as the black motorcyclist and the urban culture itself? Have we gotten away from that legacy of the tradition of it, or have we gone in a different direction? Do you think we still have that connection and ties with it?
I think for me, what I've seen just from my perspective of being in it all my life, now you see the brothers with the big wheels and the stereos and the painted frames and all that. And that's just as Brother Henry mentioned earlier, that's just kind of a progression from where I am with my old bikes. But what is always interesting to me, and Brother Henry and I talk about this all the time, and Brother Fred is going to experience this himself in Milwaukee more so, is that when you pull into a dealership or you pull into a bike night and you're riding one of these old motorcycles, the first question that I get from anyone who does not look like me is, where did you get that motorcycle?
Right.
That's the first question. Where did you get that motorcycle? How long have you had that motorcycle? Then you answer them, I've had this motorcycle all my life. My father bought this new, or my uncle bought this one new, or I had this one for 30 years. Then they look at you bewildered, like, I can't believe that this is riding a Harley-Davidson. Because they don't see that. They've heard that we have them, or they've never heard that we have them, but they think we have gold wings, or they think we don't, we're crotch rockets or those things. But they don't know our history of riding Harley-Davidsons before.
Because we've been riding Harley-Davidson for a long time.
Anyway, I mean, my father's friends, go ahead. My father's friends would buy a Cadillac. They were the GM, they buy a Cadillac and they buy a Harley.
Right.
Before they buy a Continental or they buy a Harley. That's what they did. You look at these pictures in the 30s. That's
1935.
Right.
So I mean, we've been in the culture a long time. How can we not know this?
Some of us don't know, most of us do, because a lot of these motorcycles that you see from the 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s that are not in our hands now were in the garages of our grandmothers, our great aunts when their husbands passed away, and the dealerships, as we talked about before, KSolo.
Right. We talked about that. The
white dealerships knew about those motorcycles because they worked on those motorcycles. Mm-hmm. So when that husband passed away, they went right to that wife, lowballed her on a price for that motorcycle. Then they had the motorcycle, and that's how we've lost 90% of our motorcycles to other people.
Right.
I know several,
and they're even going overseas. They're going overseas as collector items to collectors who are you know what I'm saying, in other countries, in Arab, in China, all around the world. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And that's how that happens. That's how we lose our culture, our history, because they buy those motorcycles from the families who are grieving, but don't have any idea how much that motorcycle is worth. So they lowball them, get them for pennies on a dollar, and then the bike's a $30,000 bike, and they get it for $2,000.
Right.
I know of 20 of those stories recently.
Right.
So that's
and here's the great equalizer. It's now that we have capital, and we've always had capital, but we have a lot more disposable income than we've had in the past. And we have people like Rufus and Bro Henry that are telling their stories.
Yes, and like yourself telling your story.
That ultimately get people like me engaged in this game. And I try and establish legacies like they have established. And now our stories begin to be told again. So, that's how we rebuild the culture in this vintage game. Like Rufus said, the culture has already embraced the current game, big wheels, big paint, loud music. But from a historical perspective, it's people like us, the baby boomers, that have the ability now to reacquire these vehicles, bring them back to life, and then create our story.
Right. That is incredible and awesome. And Mr. Henry, I know you're a Harley man, but you have that gold wing. Gold wing stepped the game up when they came on, though, man.
Oh, they did.
They stepped the game up.
Y'all, I ain't taking nothing from nothing, right? But my good friend of mine, he's a salesman up here at our local Harley dealership. And new Road Glide, he got the digital dash and everything. So I was teasing with him. I said, Bob, listen. I said, now I know you got that digital dash now. I said, but this old 87. They done had a digital dash and cruise control since 1987 now. I said, but now don't look for me to have no good grip on the wet road. I ain't got no traction control. You know what I'm saying? But
no traction.
Yeah, got no traction control, but I got a digital dash. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But the gold wings, man, I got this board here. My lighting ain't good enough. But
sure. Share it with us, sir. Yes, sir. Bring it a little bit closer.
This was my first gold wing. This is a 1986. My mom and dad purchased me that bike when I was 12 years old. I rode that until graduation, right? In 1994. I don't know, can y'all see this? But this is what I had parked outside of the Bayfront Center that's here in St. Petersburg. This is what I had after graduation. A 1994 Honda Gold Wing Ashman Cave. This was my graduation gear, right? This is my old man 86 FLH, what he gave to me, right?
Okay.
So I've been around the Hondas. I've been around the Harley-Davidsons. I don't care if a guy riding a push moped, right? long as if he on two wheels, man, hey, he all right with me. Regardless. There's me standing up in Bro Rufus' garage, right here, right? There's a picture here taken by none other than Blackie himself while we standing up at the Harley-Davidson Museum one night. Freddie Franklin took this picture. This is just a board, man, of this Mr. Charlie Chisholm out of Baltimore, Maryland. The flying right here.
Give us the rundown on it. Give us a rundown on it right quick. You know his history?
Yes. So this motorcycle here used to always be in Daytona Beach. We had us by the college, and then they had what they call out on the boardwalk. Out on the boardwalk is where the bike show used to be. So to find the old dressers, all the fixed up bikes, the dressers, the guys had nice choppers and everything. You go over there across the boardwalk to the bike show. And so I used to beg Dad. I said, Daddy, we got to go to the boardwalk. I got to go see Mr. Charlie, right? and this was his motorcycle. This was a 1961. What, that's a dual glide, ain't it, bro, Rudy?
Yeah, dual glide, brother. Dual glide.
Dual glide. That's right.
Dual glide.
Now, this is a gentleman. I don't have too much history on him.
Sam
but
Green.
This is Mr. Sam Green right here.
Cleveland, Ohio.
Cleveland, Ohio. I do know he was a plumber, right? But everywhere I could put a picture of Mr. Sam Green, I put it. This right here is our very own Mr. Johnny Quinn. He's out of Orlando, Florida. Mr. Quinn is 90 years old now. This is him standing by his 1967.
90 years old.
90 years old. Just stopped riding 3 years ago. He retired off his 2012 limited and still got his limited right now today. Man, it's just so much that's us standing up in Bruff Red Yard. I mean, man, it just like a lot of history here on this board, man.
Yeah. I see the St. Louis Arch up there.
You see, yes, sir. My wife took that off the back seat of this 2005 when we were coming through St. Louis. She said she wanted to go to Sweetie Pie, so I took her to Sweetie Pie. Right? And we jumped on the motorcycle, we rode to Sweetie Pie. Yeah. So hey, man, just I don't know, man, just a board, and there's more and more pictures, but this is just what I got hanging in my garage,
Right.
Good time, man, good memories, and riding these old motorcycles.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey staff, thank you for joining us tonight, man. Definitely a lot of good history being put out and shared with us tonight. Thank you for tuning in, staff, man. Most Wanted, C. Ruger, Where's Piper, Bolo, everybody, thank you for joining us tonight. I know Big Sarge commented. He just finished his podcast. Thank you, Sarge. If you join us, you can hear us. Shout out to Sharif Asadiq and Piper. They're going to be Titans. They're going to get their Titan Awards next weekend down in Jacksonville, Florida. So I will be in Florida next weekend, Mr. Henry. If you get a chance to get up to Jacksonville, come to the Iron Elite. And yes, sir. I'll have something up there for you when you come too.
All right.
I have something for you. So, gentlemen,
when you coming in, KSolo Friday?
I'll be there probably Thursday. I'll probably be there Thursday.
Right.
I'll be there Thursday. But definitely, folks, I just want to give a big shout out to Sarge for that event. Make sure you attend. It's a big family reunion. It's a big get together where we celebrate and honor our culture, our heritage, and present and welcome new Titans into the ranks.
Good stuff.
Man, this has been good tonight, gentlemen. The floor is yours. The floor is yours. Now, I do have one thing that I wanted to ask Mr. Rufus. No, sir. I think it was something that we talked about. Something that we talked about.
Absolutely.
Moving forward with our culture,
Mm-hmm.
moving forward, staying with the brands that we are with. Do you feel as though we are appreciated? And everybody could chime in. It's not a catechism. Are we appreciated in this culture? Are our contribution, the paint jobs, the Bills, the Sugar Bears, those guys that really just brought it all to light? Because I'm looking at these paint jobs now. A lot of design and custom paint job are reminiscent of what was being done years ago.
Yeah, I think we're being.
The,
I
the
think we're.
layer, layers, the flakes, the big flakes, the designs.
Yeah, I know that we're appreciated. I mean, Harley-Davidson finally figured it out, and that's why now you can get the stereo, the bag, the speakers in the bags, the larger wheel, the smaller fender. So I definitely know that we're appreciated because they see that and they recognize that. Before, you wouldn't see that, and Harley wouldn't recognize that, but now they recognize that.
Right.
And I think that's what I see. I mean, I'm sure Fred can definitely see it in Milwaukee. He can probably speak to it better than I can because he's right there in Milwaukee. And he's got his bike in the museum, so he actually gets around in Harley-Davidson and can talk to people and talk to designers and engineers and people who are front-end designers and web developers and find out kind of what they're doing and direction the motor company is going. And he can speak to that better than I can. But I'd say yes, we are recognized. Fred, please chime in, Freddie.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, one, I think when you think about the fact that I had the opportunity to get my shovel head in the museum is testimony to them at least taking a look at our culture, embracing it, and allowing that story to be told. And, I got a call from an executive from the organization was Thursday, talking to me about what would an urban bike night look like at the Harley-Davidson Museum and how should we market that, and how can not only the community but the organization benefit from the culture and incorporate that into design and to accessories and offerings. So I think not only is it a business strategy, it's historical in that we've always done that, and now they're expanding on our history.
I definitely wish they would come down to Jacksonville next weekend. If anybody in corporate, next weekend, send a representative down to the Iron Elite event, and you will see firsthand how we get along, how we function together, how we enjoy and celebrate, and just embrace the culture of the brand. And I'm not being brand specific because I recognize all, but right now, the majority of the platforms that I deal with and podcasters and social media influencers, that's the brand that we're on. And so by all means, I would say Jacksonville, Florida, if anybody from Corporate HD is listening, and I don't know who's listening out there in the stratosphere, be there Saturday and you will see exactly what all of this right here will encompass and what it's all about.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely. Mm-hmm. Gentlemen, I've had a ball tonight. I don't want to cut this short. I do not want to cut this short. Have at it. Is there anything else that you would like to share for about another 7-8 minutes? Because it's getting late, and I know some of y'all are gonna have to go to work in the morning. But is there anything else that you would like to share, pass on with anybody that may be watching tonight or may see the rerun of the episode?
Brother Henry?
Hey man, ride your ride. I don't care if it's 1%er or 100%er. Everybody, let's just continue to get along. Because it seems as though when we all get together, from what I see, everybody still have a good time. I retired from my own motorcycle club, which was Heart and Soul Motorcycle Club, back in 2011. And man, when I would throw my annuals, it would be some of the toughest guys you would see this side of the Mason-Dixon line, right?
Right.
Come to party with what I call us cookie cutter clubs, right? And everybody got along, man. And long as that continue to happen, I think as far as our month of February goes, and us as a people, man, we'll be a mighty fist. Don't ever break the link in the chain, man. Everybody get along, and hey man, just continue to ride these motorcycles, man. Look at these pictures here. You know,
Yeah.
That's from a time that we'll never be able to bring back. But if we
Right.
keep the same attitude, keep the same mentality as these brothers had, helping one another, right?
Right.
And
Family. You see family, man. Family,
Don't you
man.
know how good it feels? Now, okay, Rufus Smith Jr. I've met KSolo, brother Fred. Man, it's a network that won't stop. And it wouldn't be possible if it wasn't for a guy named Clarence Brooks, right here in Tampa, Florida, who introduced me to Rufus, right? And man, and the wheel keep on turning, man. It's like a snowball effect. For a little old guy like me out of St. Petersburg, Florida, who just dreamed, like used to see my daddy them load up on the motorcycle and say, man, I want to go, right? Daddy take me around the block, drop me back off. All right, Junior, we'll be back later, right? Because they finna go have big boy for it, right?
Yeah, man. Yes.
So from that point to now, right, to be that guy who could take on off around the block, go to the party, come back home, make it safe, or either ride abroad, man, to go holler at my boys and come back home. Hey, man, I feel good about it. Y'all ride your motorcycle, man, and everybody get along. I don't care who you are. Everybody get along, man.
Right.
KSolo, I would tell you, we talked about this before. So, you know, I grew up on the back of these motorcycles. So I'll give a really short story about my experience as a young boy.
Yes, sir.
We go to field meets all the time. You know, my father put me on the back of this 66 that I have now that I ride, the back of the dual glide. He put me on the back of it, and we go to these field meets in New York, and we go up to William Johnson, who was the first black Harley-Davidson dealer. You know, we always made a trip to go see Mr. Johnson in New York, either coming back from the field meet or going to the field meet. So here I am on the back of the motorcycle, buddy seat, ride with my father. Just, you know, we running 65, 70 miles an hour all the way up to New York. I get up there to see Mr. Johnson. In his shop, he had a house that he lived in, him and his wife. And behind the house was his shop. And it's very, you know, William Johnson was the first black Harley-Davidson dealer. And so we go back to his shop, and he had all his motorcycles, all 9 or 10 at a time, on the one wooden floor in his shop. And my father was like, this is what Harley-Davidson does to you. They give you a shop and you should be a dealer, but they cram your motorcycles in. He goes, yeah, Rufus, that's how they treat me. That's how they treat me. But I'm still making money. You know, people love to come here. They love to buy my motorcycles. But a white dealer moved in 10 minutes away from me, and he's trying to push me out of the business. And Harley-Davidson's allowing him to do this. So my father started talking to him. They started talking to each other. They got the NAACP involved. The next thing you know, Harley-Davidson said had to come in and say, okay, you can both operate, but you're going to operate and get along. And from that point forward, they got along. But Mr. Johnson was very adamant about not giving in, not giving up, and not selling out his business, because that's just the way kind of man that he was. He died. He passed away in the 90s, but he was probably my biggest influence as a dealer that I've ever met in my entire life. But I met him because of my father taking me to all these field meets where we see everybody with these dressers having a good time partying and riding back to wherever they came from. And that was my legacy. That was my growing up. And I kept that kind of alive with myself, and even my daughter now, who rides with me every once in a while on the back of my bike, still my bike.
Right.
It's the love of the culture, man. And it's the love of the culture.
Yeah, definitely. Oh man, Black Club, you sir, center stage.
Yes, sir. I just would tell everybody, keep riding, because your story is our story. Somebody's always watching, and you're always inspiring somebody, just like I was inspired by the two people on this panel. So keep riding, keep putting the love of the game into those sickles, and you'll be surprised at how many people behind us will be looking up to us and saying, I want to tell my story too.
Right.
Well, man, you are definitely representing for us up there in Milwaukee. For corporate to reach out to you, like I say, I seen the videos and footage of you last year at the event. You were part of the I think you were part of the VIP group up there, the social media influencers. I think he was around those guys, GQ and some more. But I know Salty Badger. I was just on his show the other night, and he mentioned you, and it was just a great experience for him. You left a really good influence on him. He spoke highly of you, man. So you are definitely representing for us. Everybody on this panel is. The comments that come through tonight was just amazing. All you gentlemen are just upstanding in the culture. Keep doing what you're doing. But tonight, I just want to take this time to thank Mr. Rufus Smith Jr. amongst your peers, sir. I will have a special plaque for you. I am only KSolo the rider, but I definitely want to, and this is from me. This is from me. I want to give you the first ever KSolo the Rider Lifetime Achievement Award.
Wow.
Right.
That's what I want to give you. So you will have a special plaque that I will make, and I'm gonna send it to you, sir.
Okay.
Because of your influence on this culture, your history, your knowledge, all of that positive influence that you've shared with us on both of these episodes and going forward. Because there's no time that I can't pick you up, pick the phone up, and give you a call and say, "Hey, Ruth, what about this or what about that?" And that's outstanding. So, sir, congratulations to you.
Thank you, brother.
That plaque is being made. It's a nice design. I think you're really gonna love it because it's gonna be top notch and it's gonna be coming from the
brother. Thank you, brother. One final thing I'd like to add, brother. If anybody who's listening is ever in Columbus, Ohio, and you want to come by and look at these old motorcycles, feel free to hit me up on Facebook, hit me up social media somehow, and get in touch with me. KSolo, when you come up, I'm gonna get you out there and have you ride one of these old bikes. Maybe even have you kickstart one and see what you see what that. Yeah, see what that leg strength looks like. Hold on. You gotta crank him, brother. You gotta crank him. You just can't look at him.
Hey, listen, I've heard the horror stories. I've seen videos of those things getting kickstart, man. That kickback ain't no joke, brother.
No, yeah, you gotta know what you're doing. It can dislocate a kneecap or break a leg, but as long as you know what you're doing and can feel that compression, brother, you can crank these motorcycles, bro. You can crank them. Absolutely.
Man.
If anybody in Columbus, Ohio ever come through, please feel free to reach out, come over. I'll show you these motorcycles up close and personal. You can sit on when they run and all that. Because if once I can pass that history on to someone else and get them interested in these old motorcycles, as Brother Henry has been around his life, Brother Fred is now fully ingrained in this culture. And these old motorcycles, man, it's huge. It's huge.
Right.
You know, because you can get a new one. Everybody can get a new bike, and there's nothing wrong with them. I've got new ones. Everybody can get a new one. But to have an old one, nothing like it. Absolutely nothing like it.
That's outstanding, sir. That's outstanding, man. I truly appreciate you gentlemen coming on. Yes, sir.
Okay, so I'm doing like a kid at the schoolhouse now. I raise my hand, man. I just want to tell you, man. Just keep on being a voice for the culture, bro.
Yes,
you know, I watch your podcast, man, and I love what you're doing, man. And it'll bring more people together. Like heck, you my brother now, right? But my two brothers here, man, your podcast are gonna bring more people together, man. So you keep on doing what you're doing. So KSolo the rider, KSolo the voice, bro.
Right.
Yes, sir.
Hey, gentlemen, thank y'all very much, man. Thank you, because I love this lifestyle. I love this passion, man. It saved my life. So, you know, when I do something, I give it my all. That's the way I was raised. That's the way Mom taught me, and that's just in my genes, man. I'm gonna give it my all and try to be the best and do the best that I can at it. So,
truly a blessing to the culture.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you, man. That makes me feel good, gentlemen. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we've had an outstanding panel on with us tonight. I gotta let these gentlemen go because, man, it's 10 o'clock. And hey, man, listen, they got to get up early. Someone got to get up early in the morning. It's gonna be
I'm in the gym at 4 a.m. I'm in the gym at 4 a.m. So.
Exactly, man. Exactly. Good deal. Well, gentlemen, I'm gonna say salute to you, gentlemen, and be safe, and we'll definitely be talking.
Right on,
sir.
brother.
All right, y'all take care.
Peace and hair grease.
That's it.
Peace and hair grease.
Folks, I tell you, I mean, I'm honored from the words from Mr. Smith himself that I have a positive influence on the culture. That's all I ever wanted, to have a positive influence, to leave a positive legacy. And I've really given it my all. I thank everybody for supporting me. I thank y'all for everything that you do, for purchasing the merchandise. I look forward to seeing everybody down in Jacksonville at the Iron Elite Titan Awards going on at Adamak Harley-Davidson. Be there Friday because it's going to be a meet and greet family reunion, and then Saturday we're going to kick it off. Big Sarge has put together an excellent show. Shout out to Big Sarge. We talked earlier today. We talk every day almost, but he's gonna be A1 this year. So once again, congratulations, Mr. Rufus Smith Jr. on receiving the first ever KSolo, the Rider with KSolo podcast with Logic Lifetime Achievement Award. So I will be definitely getting that out to him, and I'll make sure that we get that posted as you see it. So, all right, folks, we're out of here. Thank you for joining us. Y'all have a good night. Be safe.